So those are the 3 tasks based on which some 2 candidates will be kicked out of the challenge house in this episode. Now, I am told that members of the board and faculty are in a room just across the hall going through a debriefing exercise, preparing themselves for this eviction. Let's find out what's going on in that debriefing exercise.
Participants who were most nominated as the weakest link by their peers from the charity task, and then any one contestant who did not secure a vote or an endorsement by the panel of investors is eligible for eviction.
Dorinda was the last person in the quest. And then we have Catherine and Joseph. What is termed as the weakest link?
Emmanuel, Catherine, Joseph, and Arba. The investors were not interested.
What did Joe do?
Joseph. He did
The idea was about packaging Hausa cocoa.
Hausa cocoa. Okay.
Emmanuel, for me, is an interesting prospect for eviction because when you look at the charity task, his contribution, I understand, was quite minimal because he was spending time perfecting his big pitch. So it's interesting that having let his team down on account of the big pitch and then not secure any vote of confidence from the investors. For the charity task, the group, they have this called Hats and Hugs, made up of Elom, Catherine, Emmanuel, Araba, and Sandra. They were at the Accra Mall. They did some good work in terms of mobilizing resources and logistics, but the fundamental flaw in their planning was the target group. What they came up with as disadvantage or underprivilege was not thought through. The other group, we felt, were spot on with the case that they selected, autism, because it was a case that was not prominent, it wasn't out there, and so zoning in on that and the kind of background work they did and the personalities and experts they brought together to create the awareness, we felt was very, very good. And the approach was very simple. These are children that are not ordinarily exposed to outdoors, but they need that for their development. And so let's give them that. So it spoke to a need. And it was also the fact of creating awareness, using that platform to create awareness and bring notable personalities and experts to do the education, we felt was very, very important. We met them as a group first. In the group, we didn't single out. We dealt with the issues generally. But afterwards, then we had to then get them to nominate. And that's when we had that one.
Okay, but when they saw him spending time to work on his private, project, what did the group do?
They didn't say anything. I spent time with them, but it looked like they were well knit at the time that they were carrying out the charity task.
So
they were well
sort
knit.
of ignored him.
Yeah, it was when they were pushed. Usually when they come as a team, and you ask for the weakest person, they kind of band together. They don't want to tell you who it is. But when they were pushed to the wall and given sheets of paper to go right, that is when the issues came up.
Okay, well, at least you have an idea of what you expect.
Yeah.
Are we going to get a paper today?
Yeah,
Oh, just one copy?
I think what you also need to, you have got all that, isn't it? The first two, in order of preferences, if you look at it here.
Can we have
For Dorinda as well, because she's on the, I think one of
That's on the quiz, isn't it?
yeah, but her
Dorinda
strong
is
point was in the charity task, because she also came up with the idea of the autism children. She followed it through. And it's interesting that the only person who nominated her in the group was Joseph. And the reason was that she was not feeling well, and therefore he didn't think that she contributed a lot. And he said she wasn't feeling well. Okay. But on the other hand, the group members said, even in her state, she put in her best, and they felt that she was a very good resource
So
in the team.
what do we want? A smart person who can answer all the questions, or somebody who is useful to society?
In these days, in a competition like that, sometimes it goes with that as well.
I thought that we want to make our assessment a bit more objective rather than subjective, because I mean,
it's not subjective.
I don't think it's subjective.
There are a few points, just that it doesn't.
All these conclusions.
If you listen to him, you get what we are talking about. If you listen to him,
when I was watching the scene,
Yeah.
for instance, I kept asking myself, would you pause, let people listen to what your investors
Wait for
say?
yeah,
No. But again, the point I'm making is, how does that make somebody liable?
You see, the other thing is that we live in an environment where, even in teams, when people are not performing, team members cannot confront. You understand? And that's how come I think that these issues come up. Because when, in the instance that I referred to, when the other team members came to me and said, look, we are having this problem with him, I said, have you confronted him? Have you told him in the
But
face?
if you get him out, how do you fix the problem of team members not being able to confront issues like that? You haven't fixed it.
Well, but
that,
No.
that I think we
You
probably
can
need to-
fix
It's a
it.
process.
Yeah, thank you.
So,
It's a process.
Yes, you can't fix it in a day.
It's a process.
But what we are
by
not doing
sending
is-
him away,
Yeah.
you give them a message that this person is not indispensable. And it's okay to confront these things. We are confronting it. And as an organization, we're going to support you to confront such situations. We will reward good work. We will not reward emptiness. And beyond that, you build on that. But I mean, we don't have the luxury of managing all these situations. The reality is, it's a challenge. And we are faced with a challenge of dealing with something that our team is having to grapple with. And we need to let them understand that we can deal with this challenge because we are the board.
So as you can see, members of the faculty and our board are discussing and deliberating on the fate of which two candidates will be going out by the time we are done with this eviction. It could be your favorite candidates. Just try to keep them in by sending a text of their names to Tego short code 1750 or that same number on any other network. They are ready, but are our candidates ready? We'll find out shortly when they join us in the boardroom.